5 discoveries that have impacted my life, aka changed my brain chemistry a little bit, um, in a great way. Okay, so I'm gonna list, I guess you could say, some favorite artists, some things, some interests that are a big part of my life and have been since I first started to be fans of these things and people. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. So, number one, we will start off with Luke Christopher. Okay, so rapper, singer, songwriter, producer. He's probably a bunch of other things, right? So I've been into him from 2014, 2015, and I didn't have the blog yet. I was not Muzik Junqie yet. Um, and I can't even tell y'all how I even started listening to him. I really can't. I feel like it may have been the Miss Holy Water music video. It may have. I might have seen it on TV. Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. But started listening to him, and it was so different from what I was already listening to. And he was so unique to me. I loved his voice. I loved his personality from stuff I was looking at to try to get to know who he was. And I honestly feel like he's one of the reasons why I felt the need to start the blog, because I felt like there were so many independent artists who were just so different, who deserved that spotlight to be talked about, to be promoted. And I wasn't seeing a whole lot. So it's like, I wanted to be one of those people to help push that a little bit. I know I haven't been doing that as much lately. I mean, for him, yes. But as far as in general, I've kind of pulled back from Muzik Junqie. We will talk about that later. But yeah, I will have Luke Christopher as number one, because his music, I still play that man's music almost every day. Like all the older stuff. And as of today, he's about to drop a new project. So excited. I'm ridiculously excited. And honestly, quick, it's not really a story time, but I finally saw him. I've only seen him once live. He opened up for Hoodie Allen. Okay, I forgot when that was. He opened up for Hoodie. I had Barricade. Okay. I was able to interact with him, but because I was so just like overwhelmed, excited, trying to think and do too many things at one time, I forgot to like have my Tomorrow shirt to show them like, yo, I'm here for y'all. Like, this is y'all. And then he was meeting people after his set, but I didn't want to leave the girl that I was with. I didn't really care about losing my spot. Let's keep it real, because I just wanted to meet him. But it was too much. I think I overwhelmed myself with that thought process, and I didn't get to meet him. I kick myself for it every day. So maybe one day in the near future, I'll be able to do that again, and I'll make the right decision next time so I can get a picture and talk to him, because he's been one of my favorite people since I started listening to his music. So, Luke Christopher, number one. And number two is another artist. His name is Maurice Moore. I started listening to him 2017-ish. And he's another one, singer, songwriter, producer. And a little fun fact about Mr. Maurice, he has done some work with some K-pop groups and some K-pop artists. And the songs that he's done for them are my favorite songs. Okay. So yeah, and again, I'm trying to remember how I found him. I feel like it may have been like R&B Radar or something like that on either Snapchat or IG or something. It was one of those, probably YouTube. I don't remember. I just know I found him and I was just like, hey, vocals. Like, just blown away by his voice. Still to this day, blown away by his voice. Okay. Insanely talented, super cute personality. And I've been supporting him since. I try to repost everything, support everything, but he's another one. It's just like I'll say him and Luke was like, when it comes to the music side of things, had me just kind of taking in music differently, and like the things that I did like, um, it just altered how I saw things with music and with independent artists especially. So yeah, he's another one I feel like was a big influence to continue the blog, to post independent music artists and trying to find and support the songwriters, the producers, the engineers, kind of thing, right? Um, Number three, it's still music because Muzik Junqie, hello. Music. So the third one is K-pop, aka Monster X. Okay. I got into K-pop in early 2019, possibly before that, but I just remember early 2019. And when I tell you, that was like a slap in the face, because I feel like any K-pop fan will tell you it is a very violent process to get into K-pop because, and I'm not trying to get flagged or nothing. Um, it's just a very intense journey being a K-pop fan, especially when you're older. Don't get me started. But K-pop. Now, I was already a huge anime fan. Okay, even though most of that is in Japanese, but still, I mean, I was used to, watching things with subtitles, so it wasn't, so watching music videos or interviews as I'm getting to know the group members and things, it wasn't anything new. It's something I was already doing. But the music part, and then finding all these variety shows, and then it's like once you go down the K-pop rabbit hole, sometimes it brings you into K-dramas. I'm a huge K-drama fan now, right? Along with a lot of other things that kind of happened after finding K-pop. But K-pop definitely changed the way I view international music and artists. Because that led me to get into so many other different cultures and the music and the artists in those cultures, right? So I listened to P-pop, to J-pop, J-rock, Q-pop. Like, the options are crazy. There's so much out there, and it opened up the world to me, I guess is the best way to say it. And I'm still big on K-pop to this day. Been to a lot of K-pop concerts. Hoping to see Monster X again in concert. They have a comeback in September. Thank God. I'm so excited. But yeah, K-pop is definitely something that altered, the brainwaves a bit, because it's a lot, and it just felt so overwhelming, and it still does at times, but I've kind of pulled myself away from it slightly. I do still listen to my favorites, but as far as getting into like newer groups, because it feels like there's some coming out every other day, but a lot of them are so much younger, so I'm definitely a bigger fan of like third gen groups. So like Monster X, GOT7, BTS, and then I had gotten into Big Bang, BAP, Shiny, VAV, and then some of the younger ones like AT, Stray Kids. I am a 17 fan. Astro, NCT, like it's a lot, okay, but I kind of stopped at a certain point. I did start getting into some younger ones, but then I kind of cut that short. But yeah, but you see what I mean? How I can keep going, because it's just so much that encompasses being into K-pop, right? And next we have wrestling. Yes, wrestling, like WWE wrestling. It's not really a big long story. I watched it when I was a kid, watched it for a while. Probably not even really paying attention to what was happening outside of just who the characters were. You know what I mean? Um, Probably, and then kind of got out of it. Probably watched it off and on, just kind of seeing things on TV, like, oh, what's happening? But 2-ish years ago, when did I get into it? So 2023, I think, I could be wrong, but I think around 2023, I came across some Roman Reigns stuff. I saw The Rock on something. Then I saw the Usos, and the Bloodline storyline was still happening, and I was like, wait, what are they doing? And I fell down the rabbit hole again. And here we are. I've been to a Raw taping, I've been to a SmackDown taping, I've been to a house show. I'm trying to get to a pay-per-view. I'm still trying to do a lot. I have so many t-shirts. It's ridiculous. And I'm only looking to add to that collection. I have a couple of collectibles. Yeah. It's been a crazy 2 years. I'll say that for sure. But this time around, I'm heavily invested into the characters, into the storylines. I'm big fans of them as individuals outside of wrestling. It's about as much as I know and need to know as a fan. Okay. It's been crazy, and I love it because it's something I can bond with my boyfriend over. So that's been fun too. He definitely remembers all of the stuff from back when we were kids. Like, he remembers everything. So if I need anything, if I need any refreshers on what was happening with this at this time, he got me, you know. So yeah, like, getting back into wrestling has been super cool. And now I'm getting into the independent promotions, like here locally, and just like I'm in other places. So trying to get away from WWE to where that's not my only source of wrestling, you know. But of course, you know, a lot of my faves are in WWE, so I'm still watching. And it's definitely been an interesting journey, and it definitely changes how you see people and the fan community as a whole. And it does kind of make you pay attention to your environment, to your local environment, and when you're in an audience with those people for these kind of shows. If you know, you know. Yeah. And lastly, I got into Formula One last year. Yeah. I feel like it was the beginning of last year, maybe possibly the end of 2023, around the same time I got back into wrestling, but I feel like it was more so last year. I already knew who Lewis Hamilton was. He was the obvious. I'm like, I know who he is. I know that. I found out a lot of other stuff about him. Yeah, I was just like, wow, okay, did not know that. But now I pretty much know, I'm familiar with everybody who was on that grid right now racing, and the companies, and just a lot of the teams behind the drivers, and like having to get up early on a Saturday and a Sunday, depending on where they are, for qualifying for race day. I have a Lewis shirt. I have some other Lewis things. I still got to get me some Ferrari stuff. But yeah, getting into Formula One is definitely a shift, because it is completely different than everything else I've ever been into. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've watched NASCAR growing up, you know. I've watched stuff like that. I do like watching some of the drift races and things, but I never got into Formula One. That's something I never really sat and watched. Knew of it, of course. Like I said, I knew who Lewis was. That wasn't anything weird to me. I was like, I know who that man is. But actually sitting, paying attention, and then seeing the people who are fans of it and have been fans of it, and kind of learning all of the the kind of the other technical pieces of it, and kind of watching a lot of the commentary on it, it's a whole new experience, right? So yeah, but all five of those things, as different as most of them are from each other, have definitely altered the way I consume everything online and just in general. Music, TV, shows, all of it. It's changed the way I look at things. It's changed the way I've looked at some people, and kind of being a part of conversations online and in person. And of course, majority of those things I listed, you are going to have people be like, you're into that? What is that? Who is that? I already had that. You know what I mean? And I don't care, because these are things that I enjoy, and I don't run around telling everybody this, but in a lot of those situations, I felt like I was pulled out of a dark place. Especially wrestling, around the time I got into it, yeah, I needed it. I needed something like that to help me just kind of find a safe place to land for a little bit, But I feel like with all those discoveries, I may have been going through something at the time. So I was trying to find something to bring joy, to just bring, it's not necessarily just a distraction, but just something in general. So, yeah, those are the five things that have altered my brain chemistry. Oh, see, that's what I get for talking too much. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's I'm sorry this was so long, but you know, those are things that I feel like have impacted my life heavily over the last 10 years or so. And I love it. It's been very inspirational and motivational at times, especially trying to build myself, build my name, possible branding. It's helped me out a lot. So I'm very appreciative to all of those things and all of those people. I hope they know that. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it here because we're running long on time. So I will be back later.